We live in a world that craves flaws, yet cannot tolerate them, so we fake them. The rise of MendAI humanization tools marks the moment when technology began to imitate not just sound, but sentiment. Instead of raw, unfiltered beats, producers now use software to inject subtle timing variations and velocity shifts into digital tracks, creating a veneer of organic warmth. This is not authenticity. This is spoofed authenticity. An aesthetic strategy that masquerades as emotional depth. The algorithm doesn't feel the Bathers gave us the studium and the punctums, two ways of looking at an image. The studium is the general interest, the surface we all share. But it's the punctum that pricks you in a very personal way. It's rawness, accident, or flaw that makes something feel real to you. Now consider what happens when software simulates this rawness without its cause. We mistake calculated irregularity for lived experience. The studium is intact, but the punctum is a ghost, a shadow cast by a machine learning how we remember.
The origins of modern computing lie not in vacuum tubes or transistors, but in the mechanical ingenuity of Babbage's engines and the algorithmic foresight of...
Let's talk about grain in film, pixelation in early video games, the hiss of vinyl, imperfections once considered flaws that we now pay to simulate. These are not accidents. They are signatures of an era, rebranded and sold back to us as authenticity. Instagram filters don't just look vintage. They tell a story about who you used to be or want to pretend you were, even in the early days of digital music. Producers were trying to mimic the warmth and irregularities of analog equipment. The crackle of vinyl was not just nostalgic. It reminded listeners that sound could decay, change, become human again. This is why so many hauntological tracks fixate on playback systems themselves as part of the listening experience.
Photographers are in trouble because with just your mobile phone and one free AI tool, you can create pro-looking studio photos within minutes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do so step by step. I'll also share the secret trick pros use.
So to do so, I'm just going to head over to this particular app, Gemini. So just search from your app store.
This is a paradox. We become experts at spotting fake handwriting, voice modulations, and even the subtle artifacts in AI-generated textures. Yet we rely on these same tools to build trust. A handwritten message from an algorithm feels more genuine than an email. An AI voice can comfort us better than our own. It's not just deception at work. It's a redefinition of what counts as real. Technology doesn't merely mimic authenticity. It establishes the standard by which we judge all experiences. Neil Postman called this phenomenon a technopoly, where technology becomes the final arbiter of truths. In technopolies, what is real isn't decided by philosophy or history, but by what our screens show us. If your AI-generated letter has all the visual cues we've come to associate with sincerity, ink smudges, paper texture, irregular spacing, then it's sincere. The camera no longer lies. It redefines truth. Postman warned that technology eliminates alternatives. And in our obsession with the past, we've bought into a curated menu of manufactured errors. Every retro aesthetic is a product choice. Every vintage filter, an algorithmic preference. We don't just remember differently now. We are given fewer ways to do it at all. When you can pick your nostalgia from a drop-down list, what disappears isn't history. It's the idea that time itself might have its own logic. If the past is no longer a record, but a commodity, then trust becomes a question of code and truth. Well, if everything old can be made new again by AI, what does that leave for real? What even anchors us to a timeline where nothing ever truly vanishes or changes? The answer may not lie in memory at all.